Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Great having you coming back here. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for your support. And I've got a great story and a great experience and probably even lesson to share with you guys. And I'm going to do an update. I know we've done the unboxing yesterday of this beautiful Sumo Jade Green. Second generation, absolutely beast of the watch. After unboxing, of course, I try to size the bracelet, knowing everything is going to be fine. And before I put this watch into my watch box and get on with my day, I've tried to adjust the time correctly, of course, just to get a feeling of how the time accuracy is on that 6 hour 15 movements. And I noticed something strange. I'm going to do that right now on my video, and so you will see what I mean. Okay, so this is 6 hour 15 movement, very well known workhorse movements as we are very familiar with. Good power reserve, and most importantly, is improvement based on the 7S, which means that the movements should hack. But let's find out. So I get this focus right, so we unscrew the crown. We do one pull out to change the day and date, and another put out which should hack the movement and set the time. So guys, you see the second hand's not hacking. Now I don't claim myself to be, of course, the expert on the watches on Seikos. Of course, I love the brand, I love collecting iconic Seiko watches, but this is not the first 6 hour 15 movement. This is 6 hour 15, which means that it should hack, and it's not hacking at all. So I just repeat the process. I understand many of you, my subscribers, you're probably shocked with what you see. I'm just going to repeat the process again so you guys will see, just for the full transparency. So we screw it all the way back in. Okay, unscrew the crown. First pull, changing the date. Second pull, there you go. So the second hand is still ticking beautifully. Now straight away, my first instinct, this was around 6 o'clock dinner time yesterday. Let me just screw it back in and continue with the rest of my sharing of the lessons so far and what has happened and what will be happening. Is my first feeling of is, gosh, this is a fake watch. Naturally, right? Because again, if you know the movements, you never had a 4R movement that's not hacking. Not to mention if you have a 6R 15, 6R 35, they should hack. And considering this watch, I've checked the serial number, of course. This watch was made in 2019. That means this is not a vintage piece. The movements should be fine. So my first feeling was, God, I bought a fake Seiko, which I understand is another topic to itself. But then I start thinking, I've never seen a fake Seiko before. Furthermore, based on the packaging, the seller's integrity, the way that he communicated, and the way this watch presented on my wrist and in my hand, this cannot be a fake Seiko. Okay, so I've gone through all the details as far as I can, searched up all the information on the second gen Sumo about, in particular details around the case back, the engravings, of course the details of the watch, the polishing, the crown, all the details on the dial. And within about half an hour, I calmed myself down. I said, Felix, we don't know what happened, but you didn't buy a fake watch. That was my conclusion number one. I had to get through that because I cannot accept that all my passion ends up, specifically for a Sumo second gen, ends up being a Franken Seiko or a fake watch. So what I've done is I've contacted the seller. And he's shocked as well. I didn't really go into the too much details in terms of when was last time you wanted movements, when was last time you noticed the movements doing this. all that kind of stuff, right? I understand he's a watch collector, but within really a few chats of exchange of ideas and what we're gonna do about it, he offered me to return this watch and refund me the whole sum that I paid for, which was great. So I was relieved when I heard that. So he actually transferred me the money, and I was going to ship this Sumo back to him this morning. However, this morning I had different thoughts. I think about this hobby. I think about the experiences that I have. Most of my watches I purchased in the used market, mint or new or used. I never had a watch doing this, and I'm confident this is not a fake. Of course, I understand there's still a possibility there's being a swap of the movements of to a 7S, for example, to whatever, I can't tell. But I'm confident in what I do, unknowingly that I bought from someone with integrity. So I decided to call up Seiko Boutique. I spoke to someone that I trust and asked the question, what would be the service cost on a full 6R15? Of course, we're talking about $200. And then she said, Felix, don't stress. Bring the watch in and we'll take a look at it. So I then said to the seller, I said, look, I'm going to keep the watch for two reasons. Number one is I don't know what has happened or what happened in the past. There's no evidence of damage in the outer surface. Everything looks really at least an 8 out of 10 from all angles. Case back looks clean, dial, bezel, you name it, right? So I said, I'm not going to give this back to you now because I want to have this as a part of my memory. Knowingly, this is not a fake watch. However, at the same time, I don't want to be paying for the service to get these movements back to where it's supposed to be. And he was a gentleman. He said, Felix, I'll be happy to pay for the service cost at full. So that's what we did. I'm hoping by the end of the journey, when I'm traveling back to Seiko Boutique, I'm hoping to do it tomorrow. The watchmaker will be able to open up the case back and spot, there are obviously things wrong with the movements, but at least hopefully the watchmaker can come to the conclusion that it's a fixable. Whatever has happened, and we will fix this Sumo up. This is not a fake Sumo. It is a beautiful jade Sumo legend, iconic status. And guys, you know what? This will be a great story because I met a great gentleman, a great bloke, who was not lying or hiding anything away, but just bluntly knowing that he probably, had some oversight, that didn't pay attention to things that he should have. But I'm willing to do the work because this is my channel and this is part of my journey. So I'm going to take this watch hopefully tomorrow to Seiko, and then have the watchmaker look at it. Hopefully more clarity will be presented by them. And then the seller was very kind to pay for the full service of the watch. So I'm not going to send this back. I'll send the full money back to him. Once the service is done, then he will pay for the service. I trust his words and knowing that he's a great man. Okay guys, so I just want to share that experience with you. It's a bit of a strange one, I know guys. All the contents and videos of all the unboxings and reviews have been very transparent and very smooth, but this is the first time I'm dealing with something that just requires my attention to bring the watch to a position performances where it's supposed to be. If you guys have ever experienced a 6-hour movement or 4-hour movements that's supposed to hack that is not hacking because of something that either happened to the watch or what you've done to the watch, feel free to share in the comments below. I was not in a position to look up all the forums and discussions, but as far as I'm concerned, there's literally no post or videos down to there are any 6R15 movements watches that's not hacking. So I'm hoping none of you will ever get problems like this, but I just believe I just have to face. Okay, this is just how I work. I believe in the face that this watch deserves some love, and we will bring this watch. I don't care what has happened to you, but I do know you've been passed down to me from someone who has dignity and respect, and we're gonna fix you up, and we're gonna We're gonna bring it up to the performance that you deserve, and I will have you in my collection for a very, very long time. Okay, guys? Any questions, feel free to comment down below. Happy to join the discussion. And no doubt, I'll see you guys very shortly again. Bye-bye, guys.